SBC Media.
Welcome to the iGaming Daily Podcast, analysing the news from the betting and gaming industry all over the globe, supported by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market.
As SBC Summit Lisbon draws even closer, attention now turns to the greatest show in gaming. On the latest episode of the iGaming Daily's limited series, Path to Lisbon, we will be looking back at a keynote speech from the former NFL quarterback Dan Marino at June's SBC Summit North America in New Jersey. During the session, the Miami Dolphins superstar talked with Dylan Slaney, the CEO of Light & Wonder, about his charitable foundation, work with the NFL, and partnership with Pixiu Gaming. Marino is just a taster for some of the exciting keynote speakers lined up for SBC Summit Lisbon. Headlining the superstage on day one of the conference will be Sir Tim Berners Lee, the inventor of the World Wide Web. In the fireside discussion, Sir Tim will focus on how his vision of a globally connected network of computers has revolutionised the way we share information. Also slated to speak is a skateboarding pioneer, Tony Hawk, who will be looking back on his career as well as providing insights into his approach to sustaining success and innovation over the years. For more information, check out the SBC Summit Lisbon website. Links will be left in the episode description below.
I'd like to introduce Dylan Slaney, CEO of iGaming for Light & Wonder.
I should say self-confessed fanboy of Dolphins and Dan Marino as well, so this is going to be interesting. I'm going to try and stay calm and not get too overexcited. But we're in the presence of a true NFL legend today. His stats speak for himself. 62,000 yards, give or take. 9 Pro Bowl appearances. He got inducted into the College Hall of Fame in 2002 and was inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame in 2005. And whilst we know him as Dan Marino for his exploits on the NFL field, today is not only about that, but also about things that he's been, preoccupied with for the last 30 years with something called the Dan Marino Foundation. So without further ado, true legend of the NFL, 17 seasons with the Miami Dolphins, 30 years of stories with the Dan Marino Foundation. The man himself, Dan Marino.
Hello. Hey, Dylan. How's everybody having a good day? Pretty good? Yeah. All right. Me too. Yeah. Awesome.
So let's start with the foundation. I mean, it's 30 years in the making.
Yes. Well, first of all, thanks for having me here and being able to talk about my foundation. But it started really years ago when my son Michael got diagnosed when he was 2 years old with autism. And we just felt like we could do things not only for Michael, but because being a quarterback, the platform I had for other families and kids that were, dealing with autism, not only the kids with autism, the families and everybody. We decided to start the foundation and raise money and try to do the best we can for kids with developmental disabilities. And that's kind of really how it started. And I've been blessed to have companies, businesses, friends, all kind of people really help us to raise money, helping always, with the kids and families. So to me, it's very important, something I've enjoyed doing. Family's great to me. So it's really important.
Yeah, it's amazing to see all the stories. If you want to go online, Dan Marino Foundation, lots of great sort of like collateral on there. Go on, subscribe to the newsletter as well, because that comes out every month. And again, you can see just the continuation of all the great stories and all the great work that the foundation's doing. And it's interesting that you sat next to a legendary quarterback, but the Dan Marino Foundation also has its own legendary quarterback as a CEO that's been there for 23, 24 years, Mary?
Mary Parton. Yeah, Mary Parton's been there a long time, but she's really made a great difference in what we're doing because she's really dedicated to it. She's been an incredible leader for our group, and we've done a lot of great things, and we're dealing with kids now. One of our main things we're doing now is transition kids into, in the workplace and and we have companies down in South Florida that have been incredible to me, like Publix, Walgreens, some law firms, just to name a few, hospitals that take on our kids from our school that we have and put them to work. And it just gives them self-esteem. It gives them, a reason to go out and make friends and do the things that they need to do to feel important in life. And that's kind of where our program is right now. It started originally with, speech therapies, occupational therapies for the adolescent kids. When that started, we have a developmental center in Weston, Florida, near Fort Lauderdale. That was our original thing, and now we've kind of transitioned into this space where we're trying to get the kids out socially, working, and feel good about their lives.
It's amazing to see, and there's probably as much online about the Dan Marino Foundation as there is about Dan, the quarterback for the Dolphins as well. And I can see Tony and Jenny over there from Pixiu Gaming as well. And Pixiu Gaming are about to launch some Dan Marino branded content into the iGaming space as well, which has got some of the profits from those games will also go to the Dan Marino Foundation as well. So thank you, Tony and Jenny, for supporting this amazing cause.
Yeah, thank you.
So look, let's roll back the clock and talk about how you became this legend of the NFL and Miami Dolphins, and where did the passion for football actually come from?
Well, thank you for that. The passion for football came when I was, a little kid. I grew up in the city of Pittsburgh, a section called Oakland, a very competitive neighborhood. Loved the game. I loved baseball also. And when I was a young kid, as I grew up being a baseball fan, football fan, I felt like it's something I wanted to do and try to have a career in. And that's where it started. I was blessed to have, a great family that was around me, very supportive. My dad was, I tell people this all the time. I had Coach Shula as a coach. I had Jackie Sherrill at the University of Pittsburgh. But the best coach I ever had in my life was my father. Like, he was my guy. And we were talking about it back there, Tony, earlier. He's like, did you guys ever have sports psychologists? I'm like, no sports psychologist, but my dad was my sports psychologist. He was the best coach ever. And that's kind of where it started. Went to Central Catholic High School, played football there, baseball there, had a lot of success, went to the University of Pittsburgh, and then was fortunate enough to get drafted, by the Miami Dolphins. So that's kind of, where it went. Got to have a lot of love and passion for what you do, no matter what it is in life. And I always have had passion for football, baseball, and sports, and trying to be successful. And also now, as we talked about earlier, I have a passion for the foundation. And that's what it's about.
Amazing to see. And obviously being a Dolphins fanboy, I was looking at the... Fanboy, exactly, yeah. I was looking at the Fish Tank podcast that you finally went on.
Fish Tank, okay.
In December.
Yes.
And you were on there talking about...
So he must be a big fan if he's watching the Fish Tank.
Oh, nice. Just keep on going, keep it more.
Yeah, that's all right. Go ahead.
But thank you for going on it. I think it took him 5 years to get you on it or something like that?
No, they didn't ask me for a little while. Yeah. No, not 5 years. I think I do one thing for them every year.
Amazing. But on there, there was a great segment where they were talking about confidence and how within the Dolphins teams that you were around, you were known for, I think what they called a legendary status for your confidence. And you were talking about where that passion and where that confidence came from. Can you just talk a little bit about it?
Well, I think it's like anything in life. The more success you have, the more confident you get. And I think from a young kid, I had a lot of success, and I was very successful in the high school level, college level. And, when I got to the Dolphins, I felt like I was going to have a chance to be, a good player, a really good player. And, confidence comes from being successful at things you're doing and understanding and being in tough situations, all those things, preparing well, and so you're ready. So when it comes up, and then if you do those things, you achieve those things, then you can do them again. Like, really, that's the thing is, people talk to me about like the 2-minute drive, and at the end of games, winning, coming back from overtime, all those things, really comes from doing it originally. Like, I did it a couple of times when I was a rookie, and then when this situation comes up again, I know we can do it. Let's go out there and get it done. That's the kind of, attitude you have. And if you've done it before, the people, they're going to follow you, your teammates and everything. They know you can do it. So it's a group effort.
Yeah. Look, it's amazing to listen. And also on there, you were talking about the the winning mentality, but also the hatred of losing.
Yeah.
And that every game that you won and every game that you lost, you went back into go back into the film room, and probably even more so today with the technology changes that have happened around the NFL, that there's so much more information that the NFL players today can consume to be better even if you win, but even to be better if you lose.
Well, the technology now is incredible what they have, the players. I mean, when I first started, there was actually the reel-to-reel film in '83, and then a couple years after that, it went to the video, which made it a lot easier to study, and that's all part of the game now. It's been that way, so it makes it a lot more the availability for the players now with these videos and all the things they can take home, the iPads. They can study at home as much as they can when they're in the facility. So that's all a big adjustment now that the league has seen, and I think it's awesome for the game.
Yeah, amazing. And you talked in the past as well about what it was like to be coached by Don Shula. I think you used the one word tough to describe him.
Okay.
Can you share a little bit of insight about what it was like to be around?
I mean, Coach Shula, well, he's a legend. He's the winningest coach of all time, and thank God Bill Belichick got let go so he won't break his record. I don't know if there's any Patriots fans here, but I'm happy that happened, actually. Or Belichick fans, sorry. Coach Shula was a special guy. The one thing he did for me when I first came in, I met him after we got, I got drafted and went down to Miami, and he gave me kind of confidence, or kind of put me on the spot right away, like very demanding, saying, look, I'm going to give you the playbook. I want you to go home this summer. I want you to work out and study this playbook as if you're going to come back and be the starter. So it gave me like that little extra oomph, to prepare and get ready for it. And when I came back, it took me a few weeks, but I ended up becoming, the starter for the Dolphins. And I think it was kind of genius of him to do that. And he also made me call my own plays when I was in camp and in practice. And back in '83 and '80, those years, they didn't really do that much. And it put a lot more pressure on me to learn. So to me, he was genius that way. But he was a tough guy. He was a very fair guy. Coach Shula was a guy whose office was always open if you wanted to go talk to him about anything. He was there for you. He didn't always agree with what you wanted to ask him for. But incredible man. He's passed away, but love that guy.
I'm not sure after the Tom Brady roast that Bill Belichick will be back on an NFL team very, very soon anyway. But anyway,
forget it.
Watch that on the fly.
I haven't seen the roast yet, so I guess I should. Everybody's been talking about it.
Everybody needs to watch it and form their own opinion on whether it's good or bad, right? But look, it was also when we got the chance to meet you a few years ago. I hope you don't mind me sharing this story, but
sure.
In your house there's a picture of all sportsmen, women, coaches, autobiographies, books about winning mentality, and I think it was a gift from your wife for one of your birthdays. Took a picture
for
of
the
it.
Books and
exactly.
So yeah. That's pretty cool.
Actually. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Right?
Yeah. Can you share some thoughts about like some of the other sort of like influences outside of the NFL that have influenced your career and kind of like thinking?
So you want me to talk about the bookshelf?
Yeah,
It looks like a bookshelf.
Yeah,
well, I mean, it's I think she saw it, and I was in it with great players like Jordan and Muhammad Ali and boxing, golf, all that, Serena Williams. And I just thought it was cool to be in that group of, people. And she bought it for me as a gift. And it's up there in the house. And, someday maybe we'll sell it or something. I'm trying to be a little funny here. I mean, at least I got a gift.
Send it this way. I'll buy it off you. Look, it's been amazing to sort of like spend time with you, and you get a sense of, I guess, this great guy who was just stellar throughout his 17 seasons career with the Dolphins. And we were talking earlier that I think if this guy went onto an NFL pitch today with the protection that you're allowed from sort of like referees at the moment, that he'd probably be posting sort of like 5,500, 6,000 yards every single season.
Well, you were mentioning that what it would be like to throw it to Waddle and Tyreek Hill, and now we got Junior OBJ. We got OBJ, and I was like, yeah, that'd be awesome. I would love that, and I probably could throw for 6,000 yards. But if you gave me Duper, Clayton, and those three guys, and I had all five of them, I would definitely throw for 6,000 yards. But we were just talking earlier. I don't have to prove it, so I can talk. I can say whatever I want. Doesn't matter, right?
Sounds good though.
Yeah, it sounds great, doesn't it?
Good.
Yeah, don't have to prove it.
And when you look at sort of like the quarterback class that's just come in through the draft into the NFL, and you look at some of the trials and tribulations of some of the young quarterbacks that have come in over the last sort of like couple of years, and then you look at success stories like Brock Purdy being taken last in the draft and quote unquote doing his job for the 49ers. What advice would you give to sort of like young quarterbacks sort of like going into the NFL today?
So if you talk about the guys like the kid from USC, Caleb Williams, who got picked by Chicago, I mean, he's coming in there. He knows he's a good player. And I'll tell you what, he's going to be a great player because his skill set's unbelievable. But mainly for all those guys that get drafted high, it's just believe in yourself, do what you're doing, what you've done to put you in that position, work hard, be humble to your teammates. Enjoy the fact that you're in that position. Don't take it for granted. A lot of times, all of us in this room, we've taken things for granted in our life. I remember taking for granted, playing, starting every week. Then all of a sudden, I tore my Achilles, and I had to go through that rehab. And I look back on it, I was like, I was taking my career for granted, and it might have been over. It wasn't over, but it could have been over. And I think that's the kind of the message I would give to the young quarterbacks that are coming in the league today. And work your butt off because, they're making a lot of money right now. And there's an opportunity, for not only for quarterbacks, for all the players to have an incredible career and be set financially for the rest of their lives. So pretty cool.
Amazing advice for NFL quarterbacks and for anybody else in life as well. So really appreciate it. Well, look, thank you for those questions. Great insight into legend that is Dan Marino.
Thank you for listening to today's iGaming Daily Podcast, supported by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market. If you want to find out more about some of the subjects raised today, feel free to explore any of the sites in the SBC News Network or check out the latest edition of the SBC Leaders magazine. Happy reading.